10 things GTA Online players don't know they're doing wrong. Welcome back to Grand Theft Maniac. Let's get into the video. Number 10, use the internet. I don't mean the in-game internet though. That is a real thing that serves a useful purpose, like ordering cars and guns online, just like in real life. No, I mean the real, our world, meat space internet to gain an advantage and give yourself a helping hand in the game. Listen, you played through the story of GTA 5 without using the internet to help you out. Good for you. Congratulations, you played a video game the right way. Now you're diving into a piranha tank full of highly competent and skilled piranhas who have been piranhas for longer than you, so they're better at it and have, like, sharper teeth. Okay, forget the piranha metaphor and just look stuff up online. You already did. You're doing it right now. Keep it up. Your teammates will thank you. Number 9, don't trap people in buildings. Look, I realize a lot of these items could basically be boiled down to don't be a jerk. That's true. I own that because it's a fact. Jerks can't be punished for their behavior, and people who play honorably are rewarded. This next time drives me absolutely nuts because the only way to get around it is to log off the game. Don't use your car to trap people inside shops. Just don't. It's a really easy way to get reported for bad behavior, and it serves no purpose at all other than being a bully. You can't get a kill for it. You can't get any cash for it. It's just rude and mean and dumb. It's like holding the door closed in a public restroom so your victim can't get out. Number 8, not knowing the area. Map control is key in any multiplayer game, and especially a cover-based one where characters are as squishy as they are in GTA Online. There's no excuse not to know the areas where the jobs are taking place, especially because the multiplayer missions take place in the same areas as a single-player campaign, which you have spent dozens of hours driving and running around in already. Knowing the map lets you protect your flanks and exploit the flanks of your opponents. It lets you move from objective to objective easily and be a better team player. Just like the above point, use the internet to get the upper hand. There are tons of YouTube videos and maps showing routes and strategies. Watch some Let's Plays, whatever you gotta do. Number 7, don't play alone. This really is the best way to play any game. Find a group of friends who are at the same skill level as you in order to run through the missions and heists together. The heists were the best part of the single player portion of GTA 5, and they are also the best parts of the multiplayer. Having a crew with you to do the missions with will also avoid most hated multiplayer game trope, players who rush through every single level, sprinting from action to action and doing their best to hurry up. With a crew of people you know and trust that are comfortable speaking with, you can take your time and experience the stories the way they should be experienced. Number 6, forgetting about the NPCs. With all the psychopathic players running around with high-powered weapons and armored dump trucks, it's easy to keep your eye out for anyone driving erratically who is obviously a human player on the map. It's easy to forget that Los Santos is, by default, an extremely dangerous place full of regular people who, in the hyper-violent pseudo-world of the Grand Theft Auto series, everyone is packing ridiculous heat. The cops are one thing, but there are still gang members all over the place who will throw down at the slightest provocation. Even shopkeepers are packing serious metal under the counter, and they will slam you down with some buckshot as soon as you turn your back on them. Don't be a proactive monster and wipe out everyone you see, but don't take your eye off them either. Number 5, overusing passive mode. So as we covered above, passive mode is a great way for new players to get the lay of the land, or more experienced players to get into the activities they want to, and avoid all the grief that unscrupulous players can rain down on them. However, if you're always playing with passive mode on, you're missing out on some of the spirit of the game. Like someone who walks through their life with their face on their phone, or a parent who's always videotaping their kids instead of playing with them. Passive mode allows players to walk through Los Santos, missing out on some of the danger that is part of the inherent appeal to GTA Online. With no risk of random attack or death, the city becomes one giant lobby where you wait for events to start for your friends to come online. It may be safe, but it'll get boring real quick. Number 4, don't play dirty. I touched briefly on the bad sport mechanic in GTA Online, and while it can be very effective at protecting players from abusive behavior, it can also be obtuse and a bit unfair. The things the bad sport system sees as bad behavior doesn't cover everything a player can visit on another player that is irritating. To avoid getting a bad rep and having a bounty put on you, just play nice. Be helpful, use your microphone, don't mug players you just finished a game with. Don't fight over who gets to drive. The game is tough enough as it is without the 204 players jockeying for the prize and who's the tougher big boy. Despite all the tools that online multiplayer games give you for being a jerk, it's entirely up to you whether or not you use them. Number 3, use your headlights. This is a tip for a specific situation, but is a good general tactic in a lot of scenarios. If you're being harassed by an aircraft, especially a fighter jet, it can be very difficult to shake your opponent if you're out in the hills. A really easy and surprisingly effective way to shake an aerial pursuer is to turn off your headlights. Just like Batmobile on Batman Begins, you'll melt into the surrounding countryside at night and even negate an obvious target during the day. This isn't only effective versus aircraft, it can be an easy way to lose a vehicle or pursuer. If you're able to get yourself around a corner or into an alleyway, losing the brights can be a simple and effective way to ghost your way into the streets. Number 2, accept your place in the pecking order. Look, a life of crime is tough. You're not going to be blasting fools with a rocket launcher and flying around in personal helicopters right away. Just like it's important not to underestimate your opponents and not bite off more than you can chew, you gotta accept the fact that you're gonna be a meat grinder for a while. And that's okay. This is why you don't farm or play the game in passive mode. The only way to get better is to keep playing, learn the mechanics, don't panic when you get into combat, accept the glory of the small street level hit, embrace the joy of even the smallest successful jobs. Stick with your friends who are the same or higher level to you. Before long, you'll have an armored car and it'll be worth the time it took to get it. Number 1, farming. Getting started in GTA Online can be really difficult, especially now that the game has been out for years and there are so many high level and rich players out there. Anyone who has played any MMO knows that there is one way to get out of the low level doldrums quickly: farming. Farming is a perfectly fine tactic, as long as you're not doing anything that is exploiting the game or breaking the economy, like gold farming in World of Warcraft. Problem is, you're not really playing the game the way you ought to be. Sure, you can put your head down and grind for cash and XP, but then what? You put yourself up on a level with players who actually know what they're doing and will expect you to be able to keep up. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.